See Scooby-Doo, it's back to you. What's the Scooby-Doo?
It's back on you guys, my love.
La 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 la, la 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 la, da 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 da. This isn't just because he holds political power or commands armies, but because he harbors an ancient twisted magic that's unlike anything in the world. Sorry. Let me restart again. I get a little nervous for auditions.
They talk to me.
They talk to me.
Talk to me. Yeah!
What's up, gang? Welcome back to Flybuck Podcast. My name's Fred. I'm joined by two very special guests. We have, who is this guy? Oh, it fell.
Just your biggest, bestest host, sincere
Yeah.
host of the Flybuck Podcast.
Me here.
Who are you?
Yeah, who the fuck is this nigga, man?
Sorry, Marcos.
Hold on, guys.
Oh, fuck, dude. Are you the first black astronaut?
Oh, fuck. No, I think Neil Armstrong.
That's a white guy. That's 1,000% a white guy.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy
We got a
Halloween.
fucking Halloween episode. We're all dressed up, bro. We look insane. Yeah, how we feeling about our costumes, bro?
Last year, I just threw on like a weird like hippie shirt, but that was just really my outfit. I just had a shirt.
It was like a
Yeah.
70s.
I would give that like a 2. Today, I feel like Fred. I feel really good, and besides the skin tone, I feel like I really got it down.
Yeah, bro. You did all the shit.
This is me now, guys.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
my life. He is eating Oreos.
Thins. Sorry, I'm gonna
Why
stop
are you
eating
eating
them.
things?
Yeah,
What is wrong
just-
with you?
Don't
I
talk
thought that it was gonna be like a quicker snack to kind of casually eat on the podcast.
No,
Just
dude.
look at you dipping the whole thing in milk for the good 30
There's
seconds.
nothing casual about the thins. I like my costume, man. My costume is pretty lit. My costume last year was alright. Like I was a fucking biohazard. Yeah, like it was okay. You
It
know,
was
I'd
just
probably
like-
give it like a cool 5 or something. You
Yeah, it
know.
was something.
But this, like, I don't know. I just feel like something. The helmet really
Clean.
sealed the deal
Yeah,
this time.
yeah, it's real
so.
clean. And Ryan too. Ryan
Ooh.
came in. Yeah,
me.
that's pretty clean with the mark and everything.
Yeah, bro. Make sure they can see the mark, bro. Yeah, that shit is hard.
Yeah.
Did you guys want to show your costumes? You guys-
Crazy alien.
I just picked up off of Planet 718B.
Woo woo.
And you know, we had a character select Katana. All right, Ariel.
All right,
Thanks,
all
Aaron.
right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
See Scooby-Doo, it's back to you. What's the Scooby-Doo?
It's back on you guys, my love.
La 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 da 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 da. So, ghouls and goblins. This is the special Halloween edition for the Flybuck Podcast. Tonight, as the veil between our world and the supernatural thins, we dive into the chilling realm of scary stories. From ancient civilizations to modern times, humans have always been fascinated by tales that send shivers down our spines.
Ooh.
Why? Because they awaken our primal fears. Remind us of the mysteries lurking in the shadows.
Mystery.
And challenge our understanding of the known world. Throughout history, these tales have been passed down not just to frighten, but to teach, to bond, and to understand the darker facets of human nature. So gather around. We share tales that have echoed through time, tales that might just keep you up tonight. Let's embark on the spine-tingling journey.
Woo, that was pretty good. I like
shit.
that. I
Oh,
like
shit,
that.
The lost city of Corona. No one knows what happened to the city of Corona. It got teleported somewhere. Skyscraper is missing in half. No one knows.
The ordinary turned nightmarish after being mysteriously transported to a perilous and unfamiliar realm in July 2013. The city's inhabitants face monstrous creatures, mystifying disappearances in an unpredictable environment, threaten their very existence. Some face terrifying mutations, turning them into pariahs, while a select few found themselves with strange abilities. The challenges seemed insurmountable, something like that.
No, you said
A
it right.
skyscraper, a skyscraper, no, a skyscraper? We don't have that word. Sheared in half, man-eating centipedes emerging from manholes, and an unfathomable creature swallowing a luxury cruiser whole. Yet amidst the terror, a beacon of hope emerged at Fraser Square. A young guard stumbled upon a radio signal from the former world, a station named Synthwave Mix. The music became an anthem of hope, drawing people to the square. Longing for a taste of their lost home, the real miracle laid beneath the square. A tiny deep hole, seemingly a portal back home, became the city's focal point. While its mysterious remained unsolved, the desperate inhabitants saw it as their only salvation. One scientist decided to send her son down, hoping to reunite him with a safer world, but the boy vanished, leaving only silence. Despite the risks, parents in a desperate bid for their children's safety started sending them down the hole under the cover of darkness, praying for a better future. One such woman, Helena, decided to send her beloved Isabel down this eerie passage, penning down the tale with hopes it reaches their lost world. In the haunting world of Corona, a hole in Fraser Square stands as a last hope against the encroaching darkness. The end.
It shows all the people were fucking stranded, and whoever went into the forest to hunt were just fucking slaughtered by what was out there. So
From that
didn't feel scary.
More
That was like
scary.
apocalypse, but like not spooky.
Ooh, I had a scary dream a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and Ariel are in her older car, but in my dream we're driving it. We're getting onto a highway. Everybody's is panned on the right, waiting to kind of merge in. All simultaneously, our brakes just stopped working,
oh shit.
and we hit each other, right? And it wasn't like we just kind of joined this long line of crashed cars, right? And we're like, what the fuck? Everybody's at a standstill, and what seemed to be a moving, busy freeway when we crashed became dead still. We get out of our cars, make sure everybody's okay. Everybody's just confused, and there's these officers who are kind of trafficking or guiding the people who just got in an accident to the left side of the highway. I don't know how it got put. I just remember that we were walking, and then they told us to kind of follow this trail that led back to the city, but we just were on the highway, so we were just being directed somewhere else. And we're like, hey, what's up with this? What's up with this?
Yeah.
And they said it's not safe to cross over here. You guys just joined a line of people crashing. People are going to crash more for some reason. We don't know what's going on. Somebody threw something, like a weird thing stating that it's the insurance company. I don't know whose insurance company, but they were
Yeah.
testing out a product for insurance purposes, and for some reason, everybody crashed because of it. We're following the officer into the trail. There's forests and stuff there with fauna. And then we get towards this castle, which... like, what the fuck?
That's
We
not
were
the
just in the city.
That's not the
Yeah.
city.
We're just in the city in this castle, right? And then we go to turn around to ask the guy where the fuck we're at, right? The officer that was with us disappeared. And so how it became was that we crossed what seemed, well, it was like a stone bridge. We crossed, we get to the front doors. The doors are, man, they're probably about 60 feet tall. It's a really old castle. We can't even like pull a lever. We can't open a door. It's heavy as shit. So we're just stuck outside. Because all of us looked at it at once. We turned back around, there was no bridge. There was just now like a moat, like just water just around this thing. And so much like your story, well, actually not at all. For some reason, there was this boat that we had not noticed. It's like every time you turned around, something was just different.
Who are you?
You're not Fred.
Steve, is this part of the country club?
Yeah, so there's this boat going around, right? And it makes enough spins, right?
Yeah, the wig.
Huh?
It randomly just throws me off.
The wig?
Yeah, the wig is crazy.
Come on,
I was
guys.
staring at you in the camera. I'm like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
guys, it's who I am now. Accept me. So the
Nah,
boat comes
you-
around, right? And every time the boat makes its rounds, it gets bigger and bigger. And it got to a point where it was big enough to house all of us. It was probably like maybe a group of 16 of us, right? Ariel and I included. And the guy that was with us before, who led us to this place, was now commandeering the boat. And he tells everybody to get in, right? Everybody got in. I was the last one to get in. And right as I'm about to walk into it, it almost like felt like the boat got away from me faster than everybody else. Right, so I almost missed the boat and landed in the water, right? But I took
Yeah.
a step back. Ariel says, hey, we're leaving somebody behind. We need to go back around. They turn back around. The guide reluctantly turned back around.
Yeah.
I got back on the boat, and then we're just kind of going, right? And as we're getting further into this tunnel, the light escapes us from behind. It's getting darker and darker and darker. And so we're all discussing amongst ourselves what's going on. This is not like normal. It feels eerie. We come to realize that, but the guide had a vest on, And in the back of the vest was the name of the insurance company they were talking about that caused the crashes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And as we're getting deeper and deeper, it sounds like we're entering more of like an underground civilization that was holding up the entire city that we were.
Like Hollow Earth type shit.
Yeah, and it was like held up just by a bunch of bamboos crossing. You could still get like water from the surface that comes down into here. So if it rains, it seeps down into these
So it was like
crevices.
pillars.
But the way that the bamboos were structured, it wasn't like it was a human that lived there. Normally, we're about 5 feet, 5'2" for women, right? That's average. Men 5'8" right? But these holes were like about 4 feet tall. So immediately, I was like, "What the fuck? There's like dwarves here," you know? Just kind of kidding. I guess I was not kidding. We're getting pushed into this right by the water behind us. There's no turning back. And the same how the boat got bigger with every time the boat turned around, the deeper we got in, there was less space on the boat. And we had not noticed, Ariel and I, that there was less and less people around. And it was just somewhere in the lines of 16 to start with, and there was 4 of us at the end of it. But we heard the people, like the other 12 that were with us, the entire time. But they weren't in the boat. And so we get off, right? There's no space. We're going to hit a wall. We get off the boat. When we got off the boat, there was no boat to be found, and we never heard anything crashing. The person who was commandeering the ship or the boat was gone. And it was just us 4. But you could still hear the remaining 12 somewhere within these bamboos. We're like, what the fuck? Right. At first we wait to see, okay, if there was a boat that went this way, there should be a boat that comes back. Yeah. There should be a boat that comes back the other way, right? So we wait there. We waited there for a total of 2 days, right?
What the fuck?
For a boat to come back, because we didn't know what the fuck was within these bamboo walls. The 2 days that we were there, we never stopped hearing the other 12 people's voices. So we're over here, look, and it sounds like they got closer to us, right? At first, we just heard what sounded like them. And then as the days went by, it became more coherent, and it became like they were trying to speak to us. At first, they were speaking to each other, and we didn't realize that it wasn't coming from behind us. It was coming from in front of us. It was like they were watching us. And 2 days, we've had nothing to eat, no water. So I look around, I say, Ariel, look, we got to make a decision here. We can't stay to wait for somebody else. We have to go. And so we go. The other 2 decide to stay there, right? And they say, we'll call you if we hear anything, right? Or if a boat comes, right? Don't go too far. We start going, trying to move the bamboo, but it's too strong, right? So you have to just kind of like flow with it. So we're crouching, stepping over. You could hear like city kind of above us, but just faintly. Probably 10 minutes worth of struggling, trying to get to at least, again, because you can only see 2 feet in front of you. We made it to 10 feet, right? And we're like, okay, we should let the guys know that we're still here. We turn around, they're gone. Their voices are gone, but we could still hear the other 12 that were there. Their voices got louder to us, but we couldn't hear anything from the 2 guys that were just with us. I said, well, we can't turn back because, for one, the voices are getting louder and we can't hear our guys anymore. So we gotta just keep going. And the deeper we get, almost because you're moving through those weird bamboo structures, or you're crouching over like this, right? The more we started crouching like that, we started to take a different shape. Ariel was the first one. So she is shorter than me, so she was able to do it a lot more swiftly, right? But for me, since I'm taller, 5'11", the more I started to bend over, it became almost painful. At first, I thought I was moving the bamboos that was creating like that sound. It was my back morphing downward to the point where my spines were coming out. Yeah, like my I don't know. I had my phone with me, and that's how I was able to tell that it was 2 days. But when I had checked it again, it was an entirely different month. We get to this point where we find a tunnel. We can hear the water running outward. Somebody at the very beginning of the capsule mentioned that there's a waterfall that comes from a pipe. So we're like, hey, it could be the same one. Maybe we circle completely around. I decided to go first. You can't see light past this tunnel. Yeah. You don't know if it gets thinner. You don't know if the water can like just hit you all at once and stuff. And I'm claustrophobic, bro. In tight spaces, I'm gonna freak the fuck out, right? But better me to go than Ariel. I said, I'm gonna go into this, right? But stay close behind me, because there's no really way to turn it back, you know? Right? It gets deeper and deeper, and it's getting smaller and smaller. And as we're getting towards the end of it, we're having to crouch a little bit more and more to the point where we're on the ground, just going through the water and stuff, right? Because there's still water flowing through this. As we're getting closer to what appears to be the end of the tunnel, where it's getting really tight, we start to hear the 12 voices again. There was light at the beginning, and it kept getting darker and darker. When I turned back around to see if Ariel was still behind me, she wasn't. And instead, I heard her voice all the way back at the beginning of the tunnel. And what I thought I saw was Ariel's hair was a mixture of like a monkey and a human.
Oh, fucking god.
Right. And my spine was getting to be bad, right? But theirs was all the way out, like just completely stretched out of the body, just bone. And it didn't have a face, but it mimicked Ariel's voice. Well, I don't even know what to call those things. Like these weird dwarf monkey mixes with just pale faces that had no features, but sounded just like there you go, sounded just like humans. And it started to they sound just like us, guys. They started to realize that even though my spine was coming out, it wasn't all the way out, and it for some reason was like determined to make me like them, spine out and everything. And they're a lot more nimble than I am, right? Their spines are out, they could like almost completely, and so it does, bro. It bends down and it starts to run at me like the tunnel is getting smaller and smaller, right? But I can see a glimpse of light, so I'm just like trying to crawl as fast as I can as you just keep hearing just getting faster and faster, right? And it mimics the voices of people I've heard before. But as it started to get closer and closer, I don't know how, it started to sound like Ariel's family members. It's starting to sound like my family members. I'm assuming whatever it used to have from its like host or it whatever it ate or something, it took its memories with it and it was able to mimic those voices, right? I pushed through, right? I thought I fell through like a waterfall, but when I looked back, like the tunnel was just like the same height as me. Fell down, hit my back, and I heard it crack again. When I stood up, I was back to my normal height. When I look back at the tunnel, it was just as big as when we first entered it. And I see something running out. I'm like, oh fuck. So I just kind of brace myself to see what it is. And then Ariel comes out. Just perfectly fine. Saying she was behind me the entire time. And I'm like, fuck, man, I'm tripping. I don't know what the fuck I saw over there. It scared the fuck out of me. We hear faster footsteps coming out. But when I look behind me, and it was so weird, dude. Because I remember looking and it seemed like a boat. Like, do you remember how I told you the boat kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller? That small boat was parked next to me. And like, it was so weird, bro. I don't even know how to describe it. Except I just did. But that was the same one I saw that got when me and Ariel got out, right? Ariel had got out. I looked at the boat. Remember, there was 2 people behind us, right, at the beginning. As I'm hearing like more footsteps come from the tunnel, and now comes out what looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. Again, it's my dream, so I don't. Yeah. But after because they fell into the water when they got up, and then looked at me. It was like one of the 2 people that decided to stay back. And there was an extra person that was supposed to be with them. In the tunnel, there was no more sounds. The guy, well, I guess we'll call him the third guy. The third guy was like fucking like red as shit. He had like a big ass vein right here. Like he was running for his life or he barely escaped. And he's just like, Ariel had no recollection of it, right? And I was just fucking I thought I made it up. But when I looked into the third guy's eyes, he saw the same shit that I did. And then Ariel started walking into the trail, and then we went back to society as if nothing fucking happened. When I got home that night, I looked myself in the mirror, and I don't know what it was, but I started to grow eyes on my eyelids. And I had to like scratch it off, like, and try looking normal and shit. When I looked up, like my eyes were back to normal. And I just like the mutations that happen, like adjusting to the light down there in the caves, having my spine be kind of like contorted to fit the bamboos and stuff. I had no idea if I was becoming something, right? And then so I don't like when I scratched, I looked myself in the face like for a good second, and I just woke up and I had no idea, bro. Ariel was dead asleep. It was 4 a.m. and just to make sure I wasn't like dreaming, I went to go look myself in the mirror to see if there was anything, right? And can you imagine? I just saw eyes on my eyelids, and I'm having to go into the bathroom to make sure I'm not tripping.
Look.
Yeah.
Oh
my god! And so, I looked myself in the mirror, and I was like normal, but I was unsettled as fuck for a little bit, and it was just the craziest fucking thing, bro.
Have you guys seen the movie Annihilation?
No.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite sci-fi horror movies, but there's this one part.
Oh yeah, the
bear.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
The mutant bear. Because if you guys haven't seen the movie Annihilation or don't know the premise of it, basically something falls down from space, a meteor. It contorts this huge like area of forest into this like evolving mutated state, and it's like a giant sphere, like this huge like sphere, like a shield almost. And they send 4 or 5 females in.
Yeah.
and they send these 5 women in there to search like what the fuck is going on and stuff like that. And one of the scenes is they end up coming across a mutated bear who has like basically a skull for a face, like half of his skin is like ripped off and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it already killed one of the characters. It's kind of spoilers, but it kills one of the characters, and it comes back for them later on, using that character's voice.
Yeah, they had
for
found
help.
like a cabin that was like
Yeah.
aged for some reason, and when they got in there, that short. It looked like a short-faced bear, like
It's
from
short.
previous times, like
Yeah.
in history. Like I don't know, I think Joe
Like
Rogan's
big
mentioned
fangs
Yeah.
type of thing. And
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
they're
looked like
big though. Like,
big
they
as
were-
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this whole
That's spooky.
scene, basically what happens is one of the girls goes crazy. Before the bear shows up, one of the girls goes crazy and ties up the rest of the group. Because she's like, okay, you guys are, like, gonna kill me, blah, blah. Cause
She's hella paranoid.
And she's hella paranoid, right? And this is where the bear pops up, and the bear fucking mauls her ass down because she's the only one inside. And the
They're
bear
all tied.
walks into the room where the 3 girls are
Ooh,
tied
yeah,
down.
shit.
And it is like... So basically how we're sitting, like, all straight, it
Yeah.
comes in between them, and it's like yelling for help, using the woman's voice to yell for help. And it's trying to,
Yeah.
like, lure the people to make a noise so it knows
Oh,
that
man.
it's
Oh,
trying to
but
kill
it walked by them.
it doesn't even walk by them. It literally like pokes its head, like let's say in between you and Marcos, it pokes
Like a
its head,
microphone,
and
like
it's
it was just right here.
and it's like yelling help with the woman's
Yeah.
voice that it killed. And since none of them reacted, it just like backed away and like left.
Yeah,
But they saw him do
But
it
they
though.
saw
Yeah.
him do it, like this
Oh.
half-faced bear with a skull for half of it, because like most of its skin was missing. So it's like so this shit like. Once you hear it sincere, this shit is terrifying.
Yeah,
The
bro,
audio
bro,
is
dude, I was
being
going to read a book that I loved when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Witch and Wizards by James Patterson. And there was a monster in there that, like, for the longest time just fucked me up. And reading about it, I think, also helps because you could really fill in those last couple blanks with just those spooky things of your own.
Yeah. Oh boy, can I?
I might not read it all. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it, Marcos.
Get it, Marcos.
The shadowy realm of the New Order, where magic
fucking
is
Christ.
forbidden and freedom is a myth, there exists a malevolent force
I feel
known
like it
as
started a fucking game.
the One Who Is the One. His very name evokes dreads and whispers of fear among the inhabitants. This isn't just because he holds political power or commands armies, but because he harbors an ancient twisted magic that's unlike anything in the world. Sorry. Let me restart again. I get a little nervous for auditions.
That was so good.
It's been a while. I'm so sorry. He harbors an ancient twisted magic unlike anything the world has ever known. When dust blankets the city and darkness takes hold, the One has a habit of wandering the streets, a hooded specter with eyes that burn like molten gold. Children are told tales of how he captures the essence of those who defy him, using his dark powers to drain the life force and add it to his own. He grows stronger with every soul he consumes. He's not just a man, but a force of nature. Where he walks and shadows seem to dance and play, whispers secrets to him. The wind itself seems to bow,
Like, you almost
chilling the
have it.
bones of anyone nearby. Even the bravest of witches and wizards fear to comfort him. Even the bravest of witches and
Yes.
wizards fear to confront him. For his magic is unpredictable and wild. With a mere thought, he can twist reality, bending it to his sinister will. There are tales of rebels who tried to stand against him. They spoke of his powers, a dark reflection of their own abilities, but amplified tenfold. A witch once tried to bind him with chains forged in ancient fires, but he turned them into serpents that turned on her. A wizard attempted to trap him in a time loop, but the One merely reversed it, aging the wizard 100 years into mere seconds. But it's not his magical prowess that makes him terrifying. It's his mind, calculating and cold, always several steps ahead of his enemies. He knows their fears, their secrets, their past. It seems he can look into a person's soul, see their deepest desires, and use it against them. So in the hushed tones of night, When children ask their parents about the true horror of the one who is the one, they are told it's not just his power, but in his knowledge, his presence, and his insatiable hunger for control. The true terrors lie in knowing that such an entity exists, and he's watching, waiting, and always one step ahead. The end.
Oh my god, what was I reading, bro?
I felt like
yeah, no, that was actually really good. Yeah, bro, voice acting. You could get a couple jobs,
guys.
bro.
I swear.
Thank you.
Hire this guy. Hire this
I'm
guy.
gonna hire this guy.
You can say what you want to say now,
Thanks,
Ryan.
Skink.
Well, I was just agreeing with you.
Goddamn
It's like,
right
what's
you
he-
were.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's all the voices in my head.
I got voices in my head.
They come from me, they understand.
They talk to me.
They talk to me.
Talk to me. Talk to me. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay,
have a
but I have a
preface.
question though for you guys. Halloween question. What is y'all's scariest entity? Like visual, if that shit come for you, that is the worst thing ever.
Let me think. One's like
Yeah, I have mine already.
Yeah,
Mine
go ahead.
is a spider-like thing. I'll say light hair, like probably hair in places, kind of patchy, probably coming out of like the joint type areas,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
like just
Tarantula?
something real light and heavy and pointy feeling.
dang.
In the mouth is probably gonna be insect like too, so just real
Oh my god.
type. That's the worst type of like thing to come at me.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it's not a face, it's not humanistic at all, and there's no like, whoa, stop there. You know, there's no like, I feel like a, hey, I could get out of this. It's just like I'm being hunted down and slain through. But yeah, that's my worst type of.
Yeah, that would
just
be pretty
pure
scary.
predator type of. Ugh. And
Yeah.
the spider accent to it, the way it would move around and shit, it would have to be able to climb on walls and shit too, like elegantly but big.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that shit's so
Spiders
gross.
are yes. Oh
Yeah, so that's for me though.
Yeah.
As a kid, when Blockbuster was still a thing, and my stepdad would rent movies, some of the movies that he rented, like the horror ones. One of the movies rented, I don't know what the movie was called, but it was just about like mutant spiders and shit like that. I swear to God, that was the most terrifying thing I could see as a kid. Is seeing
Mutant
big ass
spiders.
fucking spiders in cramped little rooms. Have you guys ever seen the movie Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, I don't really watch movies. I should though.
Spoiler to it, the ending, like, you wouldn't really expect an ending like this from a movie like this because it's like a drama movie. Basically, Jake Gyllenhaal finds this guy who's his exact twin, and this exact twin is like an actor, and he tries to live his life, blah, blah. But by the end of the movie, this guy's wife goes in the room, and he's trying to talk to his wife, and he's, like, not hearing her. And he's like, oh, Amy, do you hear me? Or whatever her name is. And then he goes into the room after her, and then all you see, and this is the ending of the movie, all you see is this big-ass black tarantula stare him down and then get scared and then curl back up in like,
Jesus.
the wall. And he just stares at her. Like, they're both just staring at each other, and the movie just ends right there. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? That shit
Jesus
scared the
Christ.
fuck out of me.
Oh
Like,
my God.
like, I like disturbing movies like that because it
Yeah.
makes you really question everything. Because, like, you would never see anything like that coming in that type of
Yeah.
movie because it was literally about two
Not-
people
not
who
that
looked
at all.
exact. Yeah, two people who looked exactly the same, nothing to do with spiders.
Did you ever look into like a breakdown? Is there ever a part 2 or
I
anything?
did try to look into a breakdown of it, but it was just super fucking confusing.
Like conspiracies and shit?
Yeah.
Was
it
there ever a
just
part
like-
2 of it? Or
No.
they just
It was
wanted
just
it to be like
one
that?
movie, yeah. It was just
That's
that one
fucking
movie.
weird. I hate that.
So
they
the
do that.
movie just ended with this guy
yourself.
going into this room after his wife, and then just seeing this big black tarantula just look at him and then back up against the wall, like all their legs scrunched together. And I was like, that's fucking gross. Like that is
Yeah.
gross and gross. I don't want to see
I hate when
that.
they move. Oh
Like,
my
like
God,
when they
yeah.
moved, the way it moved. Like I'll show you guys the clip, but the way it moved, I was so like. Ugh, like just the cringe of
Yeah,
it.
I feel you. I feel what you're saying. All right, what about you, Marcos? What were you?
Tell them about the demons in our house.
Oh my God.
The what?
The ghosts in our house.
I think you should say that for
Ghosts
your
in our
therapist.
I got you, Ariel. The demons? What demons?
The
Get 'em,
ones-
Ryan.
I mean, yeah. Me personally, the thing that I remember from just hearing this was that I had a dream when I was 6 or 7 years old, and me and my mom were leaving this train station at like a rainy day or something like that, and she had left for some reason, and I was at the train station for a little bit. I tried to go finding her, asked people where my mom's at, where's my mom's at, and she was like, nobody knew, right? I found this one room in the middle of the train station, like literally like a room, like you're about to walk into somebody's bedroom, right?
Yeah.
I go to open it, and I remember this actually. I go to open it, and this plays. I know Ryan's gonna recognize it, but this plays. I hear that music playing as I'm getting closer, and then I go to see what's in there, and there's this TV, like, and it was like back then, so these TVs were big, like on a dresser, and it had like static, like white static they used to play, and I saw my mom was in the middle of the room on a bed facing the other direction.
Ew.
I climb up the bed and stuff. And I'm like, mom, we gotta go. And then when she had turned around, like it wasn't like my mom anymore, you know. And it was like if your eyes were switched vertical and then stretched out, you know. Like I don't even know how to describe it other than like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
See, bro, that's why I can't play scary games. But I'm already like, oh, I gotta leave.
Yeah, like her eyes have been like switched vertical and then like kind of stretched out, like almost like how a snake's like pupil is stretched, like it was just up, right?
Yeah.
And it was black, and like her mouth had like 16, like just like it was so weird, bro. Like the best thing I could describe it is like Melina or Baraka from Mortal Kombat, like just that jaw, like that opened up, right?
It like unhinged.
Yeah, like jaw was almost falling off too, just because the teeth were so big, right? And so big, so sharp, right? Almost, like a shark actually. And it had looked at me, and what felt like was a time where I was going to die, like and get ate. I kind of saw it look at me with little bit of humanity. And I realized that my mom had still recognized I was her child at that point, but that whatever got to her. So it gave me enough of a time to like get off the bed and just kind of walk away. And then when I had got off the bed, I walked away. I was at the door, and I looked back to see her again, and she like just kind of like forced her body to look the other way. And then I just walked out back into the train, or back where the train was, but I realized there was nowhere for me to go back to. So I just started walking the sidewalk, and it's raining outside, and it's nighttime and shit. And I just woke up from that. But seeing something familiar turn monstrous, I think is a lot worse than a brand new monster.
It is
okay,
know?
so that's your form.
Because
that was a long ass answer. No, that was a great answer, because that was a fucking scary ass story.
Dude,
bro.
and when I woke up,
I hate scary stories, man.
When I woke up, I did not want to go to my mom's room. I didn't want to climb the bed and see her there, you know. So I just kind of stayed up until like I heard birds in the morning and stuff.
Oh my God,
that was a very
your mind is terrifying.
Oh, dude, I could write so many stories just about what I've seen. You know?
Okay, well, I'm sorry that's your mind. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of the Flybuck podcast. Have fun cleaning up your pissy sheets because of these scary stories. It's been your biggest, bestest host, Sincere.
Special guest co-host Fred from the Scooby-Doo gang. Make sure you guys keep looking for clues, and realize that your imagination is your biggest fear.